Hello, welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, and in this episode we are going to have a look at Windows 10 mobile games again. There will be three in this episode, and those will be Button Soccer, Air Jet Fighter and City Island 6. My name is Gerald. As always, I've got a couple of different things with me, which are of course a Bluetooth mouse. I'm going to use my Foldable keyboard again, which is this keyboard here. I could have been using the Xbox One's wireless controller, but none of the games we are going to play today are really suited to play with this, very likely, and so we are not going to use that, and it's standing at the side. But the biggest star, or whatever you want to call that, is of course the Windows 10 mobile empowered Lumia 950 XL again. And with this smartphone, as you can see, there was a USB-C connector at the bottom here. And the USB-C connector is connected to the display dock, which is standing at the side, at this position. I'm not sure if it's still in the frame, but it's here. And that one is connected by HDMI to the TV. And like that, we can play different things or just use more or less our smartphone like a computer. And we are getting this kind of interface where you know, hey, there is more or less a start button of Windows 10 in this case, and so on and so forth. And all of this is of course enabled and possible by Continuum, which is this technology. If you want to know more about that, please have a look at the corner up there. There are a couple of different other informations about all this. In some of the other videos I already did, and you should be able to find whatever you want about this technology in these other videos. Other than that, let's start with the first game. The first game is called Button Soccer, and yeah, it's a pretty fun, pretty slow-paced soccer game, but pretty fun, I think. And more or less what you are going to do is you're going to place more or less players on a field from the top, and you're going to play with them like a little bit like air hockey or something like that. So we are going to have a look at that game first. So for that, I'm going to turn around, and of course, as always, I'm going to start with going to my all apps list here. So clicking on this, and as you can see, there are a couple of different options here, and what you already can see is that only City Island 6 is the one that we can play on the Continuum mode. So for that, we will have to change the perspective, or better to say the mode we are in. So we are going to go to mirror mode. For that, you have to go to your smartphone. There's this little three-dot menu, more or less. Click on display settings, and if you go in here, you can just scroll down a little. There's advanced settings button. If you go there, you can click on mirror the content, more or less. And here you can see now we have more or less just a mirrored version of what you can see on the smartphone directly on the big screen. Everything else is more or less the same. If we're in Continuum mode, there is a lot of GUI changes and stuff like that going on, but in this mirror mode, we can do that. Good thing about the mirror mode is that you can play anything on it. So not only the Windows 10 mobile enabled and Continuum enabled titles, but close to everything that was possible on the smartphone itself too. Okay, so let's go back here, like this. And I'm going to go to my all apps list again, and we are going to start with Button Soccer. And as you already can see, this is more or less a full screen one. Not exactly, because there is this little black part here, but that is in the game itself. It's not somehow necessary in the end, but the game itself seems to just let this little small part there free. Doesn't really matter for the game itself, it's playable as it is. As you can see, you will have these little buttons, so it's called Button Soccer for a reason, because those are the buttons you are going to play with. And as you already can see, we can of course, for instance, mute the music and the sound effects, or just let them play. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my Foldable keyboard in this case, because it has these little command keys on it, and with these command keys, for instance, I can just lower the volume in this case, and now works in both of the mirror or both of the modes, of course, so Continuum mode or in the mirror mode, both are fine with that. And now you can have a look at different kinds of options here, rankings of course. How to play will give you a tutorial. I'm not going to play that again. It's very simple. And then you can play the cup mode or just one of those you want to play there. I'm going to go with the cup mode for now. First you have to select your team. So there are a couple of them here available, and I'm going to go with Germany, but of course you can use any of those. It really doesn't make much of a difference or something. And as you can see, we already selected it. Now we can go to go in this case. And as you can see, this is more or less a little cup. It's not cut off or something. You can just scroll over to see what's happening here. And as you already can see, it's more or less a tournament, and we start with the German versus Russia in this case. Okay, interesting. And as you can see, now you will have to choose if you want to be tails or heads. I'm going to use heads with this at R1, and now it's going to go and make a randomizer more or less to tell who is going to start. And player 1 starts the match. That's me. Okay, first off, you have to place all your buttons on the field. So just take them out. And as you can see, the flags are indicating which kind of player this button is more or less for. And you can just place them there. Now you have a certain amount of time to play with this. And they already got a goal. Okay, perfect. Not what I wanted, but anyway, as you can see, we can now position more or less our goalkeeper too. So if you want to just move him around, it's only possible in a way that you already saw there more or less. And of course you can only place all your players in the green part, so not the darker positions or whatever, the darker areas, that's not possible, but in the green parts. And now we can try again. It's sometimes a little bit hard to play this game because how should you play this? I'm not sure. And I'm actually not sure how often I'm able to do something. Is it 3 or is it something else? Because there are a couple of different options here, or a couple of different modes probably, I'm not sure how to call that, to bring the ball into the other part there. And of course you can use, very close, but you can of course use the enemy's buttons here, or he is going to help you, to win the game too. So now it's 1-1 because Russia did more or less play itself there. We didn't really help him, but on the other hand, same was happening for me. And now again. You're additional to that not limited to playing the ball or something, but you can just hit, for instance, other buttons out of the way or something. Whatever you want to do there is totally fine. And what you already can see, this is a little bit of an unfortunate position. I'm trying to see what I should do here. Maybe, depending on what he is going to hit, if he can hit me from there, I'm going to... I'm not sure. We will see. Okay, now I just lost more or less the timing part. So in the end, of course, you have to do it in the right timing. And if I'm going to talk too much at least, then this might be a problem too, but we will see. And here you can see we are going to lose this game probably, but doesn't really matter. In the end, this is more or less the game. You can see we have a total gaming time of 1 minute 13, still at least. And now we are just going to position everything and try again. And here you already can see how this game is played more or less. It's pretty easy to understand how to play it, or at least easy enough, let's say it like this. But I find it very hard to control this. Especially something like this. What do I do now? I'm really unsure how to solve this problem. I'm just going to put my goalkeeper there. And probably a good idea would be now to get rid of all the different players there. And how did he do that now? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how he could put it in there by that angle he was playing, but whatever. That's how the game is going here. So I'm just going to put him out of charge here as fast as I can, hopefully. That one was bad. I think because I didn't hit the ball in this case, I'm not allowed to play again. And let's see what we can do here. Of course, as you can see, I'm just dragging the button more or less. I'm playing here, and he's going to win this big time. But really doesn't matter. In the end, I'm going to move the button here to one position, wherever, and he's going to play it. And of course, there's this indicator how strong your shot will be. And this is more or less how you play the game. Try it out. As you can see, if you're losing, you're going to get out of the game and everything is lost more or less. Otherwise, you would play against the next player in the tournament more or less. So try it out. Maybe you're better and can handle that one easier. So the next game I'm going to play in this episode is Airjet Fighter. And Airjet Fighter is a game which is pretty nice. At least it has great potential, but it's only of limited use or whatever. But for a couple of minutes, that's totally fine with the game. It's a 3D game, and the worst thing about it is that you have to play it with your smartphone. You can't really use any kind of other option here because it's just too hard to navigate without the smartphone. And so I'm just going to go to the game itself. It's going to be a 3D game where you're really going to play with a fighter jet, and you are more or less, sorry for that, you are more or less the captain of that, and you're going to just navigate around and fly really after other airplanes. There are really a lot of them just going after you, and it's really hard to live very long, but in the end, this is a game, very nice game, with you're going to fire rockets more or less on other airplanes which are flying in the same area as you are. As mentioned before, there is no real option to play this without using the smartphone itself, because it's going to have an on-screen keyboard, and with an on-screen keyboard, or an on-screen joystick, better to say, it's really no use to try it differently. So I'm just going to go with the first level here. It takes a little to load, and there's no loading information or something, but if you clicked it, it's going to load after a while. So give it just the time. Here you see there's already the audio loading in, which is a little bit unfortunate too, but doesn't matter. And as you can see, you really can now navigate with your fighter jet here. And if you go to the side, I'm not sure why they did that in this way, but if you go to the side, you can see this, and you can just fire different kinds of weapons here. I think it's really a deathmatch, so everybody against everybody, and you can just try to move around here. It's a pretty nice little game, very nice setting, or what means setting? I'm talking about the steering options here. So that works pretty perfectly, I would say. Little bit strange on some situations, but nothing to worry about too much. As you already can see, there are a couple of different options here available regarding how you're going to play this game, but I would really use the default ones. And as you already can see, if there's this, let's call it a green part, I'm not sure if you already saw it somewhere. Up there, for instance, it was for a very small time. There we are. Then you are just going to more or less get your fighter out and just try to collect as many kills as you can. There is a green part which is going to tell us, hey, he got the aim locked in. And if that is happening, you can just fire it up, and your airstrike or your missile more or less is going to kill whatever is in the way there. And yeah, the problem with the game is more or less that there is not much more to it but this, so there's no real objective or something you're going to have here. And I'm not sure if I'm the only one of my team, because some are not going to get locked in, some are. But in the end, if you just like to play a little bit like this, fly around, try out a little bit of the engine here and how to work with it, it's a pretty nice game, which really works astonishing well, I would say, because even so it's a 3D game, might not be the most beautiful one, but still it's a 3D game. And this one was created for Windows 8 more or less, so not even Windows 10 Mobile or something. And regarding that, it's really a pretty nice feeling and a pretty nice performance he's going to offer you here. And I think we are, not sure, I'm just going to turn around and show you a couple of other options here. For instance, you can fly first person if you want to, which is a nice thing too. And I'm just going to see what we can do here. And of course you can just go through different kinds of options to see different kinds of angles of your camera here, points of view more or less. And can I get you? I'm not sure. No. I think that one has to be some kind of a... No, now I can. Okay, whatever. In the end, just shoot everything you are seeing more or less. It might be the right option to do it. And in the end, you're not going to have to be very precise, just fly close to it or close to the one you want to, and then just try to get him out and fire with your missiles. And you already saw it, there's no kind of limit how many missiles you can fire up. So again, that one is going to die, probably at least. I don't know. It's a little bit of a problem. I think the missile you're going to fire is trying to follow you, and more or less after a while will just go down. So if you point your missile on a different target, it's trying to catch up to that target too, which can be nice and can be bad, depending on what you're playing for. And there we got one too. As you can see, you have of course a kill ratio there and get a score for it. And of course you have a couple of different options here to go around. And you can, for instance, use a different kind. You can even use your accelerator here. I really hate that, so I would highly recommend you to use the standard setting as mentioned before. And now let's see, is there still another fighter available? I'm not really sure about that. Probably at least one, because of course there is one. Okay, so there are a couple still left. I'm not sure if they will respawn or something. It's probably going to be like that, but I'm not sure. And I will have to go down a little just to get in reach of the other parts here. In general, they can shoot on you, but they will, more or less postpone that or whatever. I'm not sure. I already got shot and got shot out of the sky in the end, but it's really nothing you have to worry about very much, and it's hard to worry about that even. So let's see if I can. That one is dead too. There is somebody flying. I think you will fight this, so the first level here is going to be as long as you need to really get rid of the other enemy fighters. Let's see what we can do. Good thing is, of course, that your wingmen are going to handle most of it. Where is it? There's still one left? I'm not really sure. What you don't have to worry about or something is, of course, that, for instance, you don't have to worry about your speed or something. It's just going to be the full speed all the time, I think, at least. And of course you can just go down, up and fly around. As you can see, we have 30 points armor left, 50 we started with, so somebody already fought us. In general, they are going to fight with some kind of a machine gun or something. If you are going to fly into that, yeah, that's pretty bad. Let's say it like this. And of course, as always with these games, the joystick is a little bit upside down more or less, so switched over, but this is normal because if you are going to use the joystick, you already know that from this kind of game. And they got me. So here is the end. So just try it out if you like this kind of game, if you like this flying action or whatever. It's a slow-paced one. You don't really have to think much about it and just fly around, try to get the enemy as much as you can. Still, I find it a nice little game, especially regarding the performance, which is pretty nice if you're in the cockpit at least. As you can see, it's not too nice if you're not. In this case, for instance, if you're dead, they are going to have quite a low rate for whatever reason that is. But still, a nice little game should be working pretty okay. So what I'm going to do here is now I'm going to go back to the Continuum mode. For that you can click on the Continuum app itself, or you can just go here and go to Continuum mode again. If you're in here, everything is fine for now. And now we are going to play the last game of this episode, which is called this City Building 6 or something. Let's see, it's called City Island 6, sorry. And for that, of course, I'm going to go to my all apps list in this case. And as you can see, all the other games are now more or less hidden or blended out, more or less, grayed out. And so you already know which kind of game you can play in this case in the Continuum mode. And here is City Island 6. I'm just going to click on that. And we are going to start with it in a second. In the end, this is a game where you're going to build a city, so just be the mayor and the builder, more or less, of the city, and you're just going to try to build the best city for your people there, and like that. From Sparkling City already, or there are a couple of games from them, and this is the 6th iteration of that. I think we played already 2 or 3 of them. But it's a nice one too, again. Of course, very equal from what you are going to play and do here. In the end, you can already see it's this game. We are going to click on play in this case, and now it's going to load. And in the end, it's of course going to load your last position or last starting point. And what I'm going to show you is more or less a little bit after the first initial setup and the first initial tutorial, probably at least, we will see. Give it a couple of seconds to load because it's, for some reason a little bit bigger. Not sure why, but it's like that. And I am just going to switch over to the app itself too. I like to do it. I'm not sure if it's really making any kind of difference, but now you would have a touchpad and you could use your smartphone as a touchpad in this case, which is a nice little thing. And here you can see the gaming space. Gaming space, of course, I already bought and built more or less a couple of different things here. And as you can see, we already have a little bit of things going on. All you would like and can do is more or less you're going to try to build a nice little functional city. For what you can see here, we have 12 citizens, which are pretty happy at the moment, and we have all of them working, so that's a good thing. Meaning one house in the end, one, I think it's a post office or something, so one job they can do, and another job where they can, for instance, get food and stuff like that and just sell that to the people. And all you will do is more or less build up all the different parts here. So go to that one, and here you can see you have a couple of different options to build stuff with. And just click through them to see what they are. For instance, this is a new housing. So if we go with that, we can just click on this part and we can just put it, for instance, here. I would highly recommend you to think about how to build your streets and stuff like that, because that's really helping. Otherwise, for instance, a couple of them, yeah, we already do that more or less. And with the information here you are getting, he's going to tell you all the time, hey, do this, do that, try to build something new, and of course your city is going to rise up, and with all of the different levels you're going to reach new possibilities. For instance, of course, at the start we would like to build more streets here, so just try that out. Should be pretty easy to do. After that, if you are ready, click the green hook there, and everything should be fine. And I already did that somehow, but he's not recognizing it, or I'm not sure, or maybe he is. Maybe he is, yeah. Okay, so all the time you're going to get money for it, and of course if you build something and it's ready, you can of course open it up. And after a while you will see, hey, we don't have enough people in our part here, but we are at the next level now, and there is a couple of different new options we can do here. And so this is our little avatar, which is going to help us to build new stuff and tell us, hey, do this, do that, try to open up some kind of a treasure build in this case. So okay, the treasure chest is, we would have to watch a video here. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be like that, but if it's, then of course we will have to watch the video. I'm not going to do that if I... Okay, they have some kind of a video. Interesting. So in the end, for this one, you would have to watch a little bit of the advertisement, and the worst thing about it, more or less, as you can see, I really can't do anything about it, because for 10 seconds up in the right corner you can see that for 10 seconds we are not allowed to do anything and have to watch this through. But it's fine, I don't have a bigger problem with something like that, because of course I have to get things done. Biggest problem at the moment is that my Bluetooth mouse probably has no more juice in it. I would have to charge it up, what I will do, but of course I can always use this for it, and my Bluetooth mouse is again there. Okay, fine. And now we can open up this little, so I have to click on it a couple of times, okay, this little chest here. And we got something, I'm not sure what that is actually. There are a couple of different ones, and I would say we are just going to get that and everything is fine. Now, as you can see, we already earned a couple of bucks here, and we will have to collect them all the time. And of course, after a while you're going to have to do more. As you can see, we already got all our citizens here, and probably they want more. Yeah, okay. They are asking us to get more jobs for them. So let's do that. As you can see, we have a couple of options here. A water park, a cafe, a fish cellar, more or less. I think I'm going with whatever. I have enough money for everything, so I can really choose, but I'm just going to go with a water park. Why not? I don't know. So let's lose it. As you can see, we have to put it into our sea here, so it's going to be a water park at near or close to the sea. And for that, thank you, I should use some gold here. He's going to tell us, hey, how to get more space for it. Yeah, why not? Give me that. That's fine. Of course, there is this totally normal one where you can, for instance, buy in-game coins with real money, which I'm never going to do. And otherwise, of course, you can just try to go with the in-game currency here. And in general, it should be enough for most of the stuff. So just try it out. What they really need now is more or less an option to go to our water park, I would say. And for that I'm trying to do something like this, just in case, and I'm just going to make it like this. Probably, hopefully, that one is now going to be able to be used in 3 minutes, of course, so it's taking a while. And as you can see, you can just collect all the different stuff here, experience points and so on and so forth, whatever you want there, and just build up your hopefully perfect city with all the different things you want to build up here and get here. So I think this is more or less matching surfing part there and the water park, so everybody can do it. And in the end, you're not limited to any kind of structure or any kind of layout of the city or something. You can always buy more of the places around that to increase the city size. And of course, you should be able to hopefully maintain a great happiness of your different citizens, because that is more or less what you should do as a mayor anyway. And yeah, more or less that is all I want to tell you in this game. You just can play with it. There are a couple of other options you should have a look at. But other than that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have any kind of questions, comments, whatever, put them down below in the commentary section, of course. If you didn't subscribe till now, do it now. And of course, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Other than that, thank you for watching. See you around and bye. Bye.